How to use AI in pre-construction and project management without over-engineering it. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about some key ways that you can start to use AI not only in construction, or wait, for you it would be construction, but also in pre-construction in a safe way. For me, this journey started about a year ago, but really implementing it started a couple months ago, and it's been remarkable. So do you want to know what benefits can come to you if you had kind of like a second brain providing information and double checking things for you? And would you like to have some practical tips for how you can use AI and also use AI to spot risks and drift in your construction schedules? If you're into that, please stay with us in this video. I'm going to talk about it right now. Okay, so I'm super excited about this topic. I have covered a little bit of AI in previous YouTube videos, but this is remarkable. As you know, just like with AI, it keeps growing and growing and growing, and it gets better and better and better. Let me just tell you a quick little story. Right now, we're in the middle of writing a book called Elevating Construction General Superintendents. And before, I would always just voice to text the chapter and then go through and self-edit it. I remember this was about 12, 13 months ago. I was like, hey, why don't I just have AI help me with this? So I took the draft chapter and plugged it into AI, and it was garbage. It was absolutely the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, it was like, and this and thou and, you know, all these different like words that I've never even heard of, that's not even in my vocabulary. I'm like, this will not work. Fast forward 8 months later, I download the base content. For me, it was the book drafts, the podcast transcripts, the YouTube transcripts, basically taught AI how to speak and think like me, for the most part, anything that I have. And you can do that with other content, but for me, it was that source content. And so then I started to play with it just bit by bit and started to engineer the prompt and said, hey, AI, how can I get a better prompt to get a better chapter revision or chapter draft at the end of our interaction together? And so it starts building, and I've got little segments on my Apple Notes files of ChatGPT prompts, because that's the one that I use mainly, where it says, this is what I want you to do. And as I learn, or we see a mistake, or it says some weird thing, I'm like, oh, please don't do that in the future. And now every time that I draft a chapter, meaning take my information, put it into ChatGPT, and ask it to spit out a draft chapter, it's remarkable. And then the other thing is, what I'll do is I'll take, with what we're doing now, is take industry experts, ask them to comment and provide stories. And then I say, ChatGPT, please take the original chapter that we drafted, and I'm talking nicely to it, because in case AI ever takes over, it will remember that I was nice and said please and thank you. Not funny? Okay. Anyway, so I take the original chapter and say, here are the review comments. Please incorporate it. And I'm not kidding you. Sometimes when I read the chapter, I get misty-eyed. Like, it is so good. So 8 months ago, I'm freaking out, and now I'm having the best time of my life, and I am writing at an accelerated rate. Now, doing that with reviewing specifications for the testing and inspection register, the submittal register, or the submittal log, to identify early long lead procurement, to check schedules, to look at the overall sequence of functional areas, phases, and zones. I mean, it is remarkable. Here's the reason that I told you that story. You're probably like, Jay Money, you're talking too much. Please don't put that in the comments, it hurts my feelings. But here's the deal. Like, literally 8 months ago, if I had stuck with that, I just would have been like, this is garbage. I don't care about AI, this is horrible. But I stuck with it, and it's kind of like training a personal assistant. Once you get it done, then you're like, I will never go back. I have so much help. I have a second brain, and I can get information so much more quickly. So if you are thinking, yeah, ChatGPT, these AI platforms, they're risky, they're wrong, they hallucinate. It's because they are not trained. It's like pulling a new person into your company with an exceptional amount of brain power, but they're not trained. So once you train them, they can do a whole lot of really cool things. So now let me take you into some of the cool things that you can go ahead and do in pre-con and in construction. I've already talked about in previous videos that you can use it, again, like I said, to pull out information from your prime contract, to get a submittal log, to get your testing and inspection register, to analyze the drawings and do quantity takeoffs. I've been reached out to by companies that are now literally doing the estimating right with AI, translating the information that we get back from trade partners in the bid leveling or the bid scrubbing process, whatever you call it, and it aggregates the data for them, and on and on and on and on. So normal project management items we're really doing well with it. Now let me tell you about something that's a bit scary. I was on a lean community of practice call with a lot of industry lean influencers, and somebody brought up the point, hey, you can get a base sequence for your pull plan from ChatGPT. And most people started freaking out. Let me just give you some data here. In the company Lean Tact and Elevate, where we help hundreds of, probably more than that, probably near thousands of companies to run their projects and to implement lean in the TAC production system and Last Planner, we see a couple things. We see their original CPM sequence. Number two, we see the pull plan from the trades, and we have been checking what ChatGPT will identify separately for sequences and for the supply chain. And you're going to be pretty creeped out. Every single example that we have found has been around 95% accurate. And in many cases, the ChatGPT durations ended up, after the final analyzation of the pull plan, to be more accurate. And so if somebody said, oh, this is such a good point. I think this is a good video. If you think it's good, like it. But I'm going to like it when I see it because this is such a good video. I'm telling you, this is the point that I want to make. Pre-con, when you're building the plan, construction where you need information and you're going to process it, it doesn't matter. We're not going to just ChatGPT something and send it. Like on the South Park where they're just like plugging in messages to their girlfriend and it's just sending the messages back and you don't even know what's being said. We're never going to do that. We're going to have ChatGPT or other AI platforms come up with a really nice base, and we are going to make sure it's correct with human intelligence, do what we're supposed to do and use it to accelerate our work. So until something happens, we're not being taken over by AI, we are being lifted up by AI. So pull plan sequences, yes. The supply chain early on, we don't have trade partners. What's our long lead procurement? Yes. Go type in there. This is the program type. This is the building size, the dollar value, the area. This is what we're doing. And I promise you, you're going to get remarkable information. In fact, I'm sorry this video is so long, but in our production plans early on, we will have a procurement log, a procurement section, and one work breakdown structure will be ChatGPT. And then we'll have trade verified. And as the trade verified gets longer, the ChatGPT thing goes away. And literally now it's all trade verified. But the point is, we get all of that information early on so we can take action. It doesn't matter if it's absolutely perfect. It matters that we're starting when we need to start. Let me tell you one other thing. For our current production plans, strategically and tactically on project sites, we are asking AI to analyze the overall sequence, to analyze zone sizes, to literally run Kevin Rice's TAC calculator, to do a zone density analysis. We are probably 9 months away from being able to completely create an entire production plan with AI alone. Now, we don't have one platform, and let me give you a warning here. I'm not going to mention the platforms that you can use. There are many of them. In fact, one of the outline topics that I had was to talk about the different things that you can do. People are saying, oh, AI can analyze risk in your schedule. AI can now tell you what to do to recover from impacts. On and on and on. Be careful, because if it's based around the same CPM algorithm, increased work in progress logic, it's not real. It's got to be based around the proper science. So it's not yet ready to just go do it automatically. You have to train it again with the right parameters to say, this is how we can analyze it in pre-con and in construction, what we can do to recover from delays in a production mindseted way. So, and I appreciate you staying with me. This is a little bit longer video. Let me just answer a couple of quick questions, okay? Number one, how do I start using AI without having a tech team? This is a great question. Here are a couple of quick ways. Number one, get some base, and I'm not going to tell you which ones because there's so many out there, but get some base training on your chat AI platforms to start learning how to prompt and get what you need out of it. And as soon as you get to like 15 to 30% of your day utilizing AI, you'll be ready to start creating videos and images and doing more detailed analyses. And you're going to have to bring in more tools. And that's where I want to mention this. You might want to select one techie person on your team to start going through training with a specific purpose or problem you want to solve. And third, which we've tried as well, hire a consultant. If you want a really good one that we vetted, please let us know. I will connect you. It's not very expensive and they can get you started right away. So that's how you start without a tech team. Number 2, are there AI tools that tie into your scheduling and estimating systems? Yes, the estimating systems are good to go from my perspective. The scheduling, if it's based on CPM, it's garbage. If you have those systems and you can train them to use the tact-based mindset, production principle mindset, you're good to go. Can AI help me avoid missing long lead procurement items? Absolutely. And by the way, these are questions that were specifically from previous videos, and that's why I'm being very specific. These are the questions people are giving. Yes, type it in just like I told you earlier on in the video, experiment with it, and then validate it, and I promise you, you'll find out it's pretty accurate. Number 4, what are the risks about using AI tools for planning and recovery and prediction? The risk is that you don't use your common sense and put human eyes on it and double check it and you just send it out. That's the risk. But if it's wrong, you'll see it. And as soon as these AI platforms hallucinate, you can easily rein them back in. And the last question is, can I use AI if I'm not using the full digital building information model in my project? The answer is absolutely. We have AI platforms right now, reading drawings, reading specs, looking at it from a 2D perspective. And it takes a little bit of training and you need a little bit of help. That's where I would literally pull in a consultant for a couple of hours. It's not that expensive to help you out with it, but you absolutely can. Here's my challenge. I could speak for hours, and this video is probably going to be 15 minutes. I'm sorry, but I could speak for hours on this. Get started. Let's go. You don't have to worry about anything as long as you put your human eyes on it to double check it. Start with ChatGPT, get addicted, sign up for the pro account. No, they don't pay me. I'm not an affiliate. Get to the point where 30% of the day you're using AI. Once you get addicted, it's easy from there. So I'm going to put this into a blog post for you in the description below, but I hope you've loved this and I hope you keep checking out our channel because I'll talk more and more about this as we go. On we go.